How do you feel about coming to play to Croatia?
It's always nice for me to come to Croatia, of course. The people are very warm and open and really are partying a lot, you know, on the dance floor. So I always have a good time in Croatia. So it's for me really nice to be there.
What about your last gig that you've had in our country?
Last time I played in Zagreb, the club was completely full, you know, it was Boogaloo and it was completely packed. So, you know, I think it's all done good also, you know. It's always good if you each time when you come and there's a lot of people, so I don't think that anyone then can have a bad time, you know.
What about your family? Can you hold all those things around production and gigs and still manage all those gigs, dates, and studio work?
I have only my wife, you know, that's it, that's my family, you know, so we have no kids. So we are both involved in the company and we go both for it, you know, and so, but we don't have to look left or right like many other people and colleagues that I have. They have 2 or 3 or even 4 kids. I can imagine it must be a lot of sorrows and that's why we maybe have more time for other things, you know.
Which label is more important for you? Pornographic, where you work alongside with Christian Vrela, or MB Electronics?
MB Electronics, no doubt, because that's my label alone, you know. Pornographic I'm doing together with Christian a little bit, but my highest priority is MB Electronics because with Pornographic I'm just doing the parties with him together, but the music what comes out on Pornographic is Christian deciding because I have no time to do 3, 4, 5 labels, you know. 10 years ago I was doing 3 labels, MB Electronics, MB Selections, Pornographic, and then even a 4th one I wanted to start, but it was too much, you know. You cannot focus, if you have many labels you cannot focus on every label, and now I have only MB Electronics and this is my label and I can focus for 100% on my label. I think it's very important, you know, to have full focus on something.
Which release is at the moment the most important to you?
At the moment, the most important is the one which came out yesterday. I have since yesterday a new release. The name is Intense Substance. It's with a remix from Gary Beck and Spectre. And it's very important for me at the moment because it's just out. It's really new, you know, since yesterday. At the moment, this is for me the most important, you know. But like I said, I work almost every day in the studio, about minimum 2 times a week, and always new stuff are producing. So for each time, the new one is the most important at the current moment. In 2 months it will be another one, you know. If you look at Umek, he has almost, I think, every 2 weeks a new release. It's always focusing on new stuff, of course.
We can often hear people saying that you don't play hard techno like you played 10 and more years ago. Is it really like that?
Yeah, I heard this many times. That's probably because I did a lot of stuff already on John Digweed, his Bedrock label, which is more techie house, melodic, progressive direction styled. But you know, I like to do different stuff, you know. I like to do something like this, but I also still do my hard stuff, you know, my techno. Sometimes you have to do a little bit different things also, you know, because if you do for like 20 years always the same kind of music, it's get a little bit boring, you know. And I know this is what I had still a discussion with the girl that I know from Zagreb airport. She still cannot understand, you know, that I don't play hard techno but like 135, 140 BPM like I used to do 15 years ago. But times are changing, you know. Technology changed, you know. 15 years ago I played with vinyl. This is over, you know, and everything changed. 15 years ago there was also no MacBook Pro, you know, there was no iPhone, and so is it with many things, you know. And also music changed and you cannot play for years and years the same things. It's impossible. But this is a real problem at the moment with the people, because also in my country, in Belgium, you know, the parties which are good are parties with old music. It makes me a little sad because it looks like that people are not standing open to listen to new music.
You know, a lot of people reacted really positively when they heard that you're coming to play in KUTINA, and they still stop me in the street or type on Facebook, is Marco Bailey really coming?
Wow, that's nice. That's nice. No, I really look forward, Tom, really. Because, like I said before, there are not many times that I had a bad time in Croatia. And you know why it's for me so special, Croatia? Because I played already in 1996 at Future Shock in Zagreb, you know? I don't know if you remember that still, you know? This was And then if I'm thinking back, there are not many countries where I have already going for so long time, 1996 is, I think, to be honest, maybe people that will be on the party now are, not long born.